Hey there, my name is Scott Harmon, and I'm live on Facebook. So you're so glad you're joining me. I realize I'm going to have to wait just a minute for people to join in, but I'm going to cover today some tools that I'm using in my private practice. So I get to kind of geek out here. I love the technology, so most of these are technological tools. So I've got my clipboard. And if Van Cruz is watching, it says Yankee on it. That's me, Yankee. Even though I live below the Mason-Dixon line, still referred to as a Yankee. That's okay. There's Van Cruz. Van Cruz, look here. Yankee. That's for you, my brother. My brother from another mother. How is Jovi? Never mind. Anyway, here's what we're going to cover. Tools that I use in my private practice, and I'm looking at the comments. So what I want you to do, put a comment down there, some technology tools that you're using, why you like those tools. So I'm watching the comments there. All right, first, like I said, my name is Scott Harmon, and I have a website called startatherapypractice.com. I have a podcast also, so be sure to subscribe to that. And actually, I'm going to go over a tool that I use for a podcast listening. So we'll cover that. Oh, yes. The Academy of Private Practice is open for enrollment until October 30th. That's if you're listening live or just in the next couple days, that is next Monday. So just a short time frame that it's going to be open. Let's see what Van said. It says low voltage stun gun. That's what Mr. Cruz likes. He works with kids, so he uses that stun gun on those kids. You shouldn't do that, Mr. Van. Or as the kids call you, Mr. Van. That's what they call you. So hopefully we'll get more than Mr. Van in here. If you're watching this later on, after it's live, put a comment down below and tell us the tools that you're using that is helping you either in your therapy, providing therapy, or in your private practice, or just in life. I kind of geek out on different tools, so let me know what tools you're using. Natasha, how are you doing? See you pop in here. Glad to have you today. All right, so like I said, I'm going to go over some tools that I'm using, and let's just get started because I got quite a few. I don't want to go over 30 minutes, although I could probably talk for quite a while on technology tools. So the first, and I will put some links down below after I close this out. I'll put links to what I'm mentioning in here. So no need to write these down. I'll have links to these. Some of them I won't. Like here, I'll tell you here in just a minute. But the first one is ConvertKit. So ConvertKit, I'm going to go here to my last page because it actually has the link on it and how they explain what ConvertKit is. It's an email marketing tool. So you can collect people's emails. Here it is. What does it say? Email marketing platform. That's what they call themselves. So now for private practice, on my intake paperwork, I'm asking for people's email address. So I'm putting their email into ConvertKit, and then I can create sequences, what they call sequences. So I can set that up beforehand as far as emails that they will receive over a time period. And then I drop their email in there, and then they automatically start receiving those email messages. So in my private practice, I've got a few emails that go out in a sequence over time, and you can spread that out. So the first one is, hey, how did we do? How did you like your first session? And then maybe after a week or so, it's, have you checked out this part of our website? I think you're going to find it very helpful. And so we can just have that line of communication kind of in an automated way, which is very helpful. So ConvertKit, like I said, I'll put a link in the I want to say show notes, like it's a podcast, down below when we get done. The next one is Todisit. So it's spelled T-O-D-O-I-S-T, Todisit. And Todisit is just a to-do list, but I have it on my computer. It's a website, and I also have it on my phone, and it all syncs together. So if I think about, hey, I need to do something, I'll take my phone out, bring up the Todisit app, put it in there, and then it also syncs to my computer, because a lot of those tasks that I need to do are when I get back to my computer. So it's waiting for me when I get there in that checklist, and it's so nice because you could just check it off and it goes away. I love checklists. Now also go old school and use sticky notes. I got a bunch of sticky notes right over here on my desk. So I like the physical aspect of a sticky note, but Todoist is very nice to keep up with digitally. All right, Siri. So I got an iPhone, I use Siri. If you have an Android, you have Google. I was going to say Alexa, but that's Amazon. So Siri, a lot of times what I'll use Siri for is to text somebody. If you have the phone plugged in, you can just say, hey Siri. You can do that with Google too. Hey Google. And say, text Van Cruz. Actually, on my phone, Van Cruz is not named Van Cruz. I won't tell you my secret nickname for Van. He knows it. You know your nickname for you, Van. But I'll say, hey Siri, text Van Cruz. And Siri will pop up. What do you want to say to Van? And I'll say, tell Van that we're going to go fishing Friday at 3 o'clock, which we should do, Mr. Cruz. And he'll say, okay, here's what your text message says. And he'll send it. So it's hands-free. That's handy if you're in the car, or even if I'm just at the desk and I'm kind of multitasking. A very helpful thing with Siri that people don't use, because I ask them, do you do this on Siri? And I'll demonstrate it to them. I'll say, hey Siri, remind me when I get home to get so-and-so, to get such and such. And as long as you have your locations in there and the address, when you drive up to you in your driveway, Siri's going to remind you to get that thing that you wanted. Or I'll say, Siri, remind me when I get to my Greenbrier clinic to get this or to do that. So when I drive up to my clinic, the reminder pops up and it reminds me. That is super powerful. Or you can put a location, well, this is more reminders, but it's still a relevant tool. You can put a location reminder in there. So every time you pull up, every time I pull up to my clinic, I get reminded to log the mileage so I can deduct that off my taxes. So that's a powerful location-based reminder tool, not necessarily Siri. Let's see, Voicedream app. So this is an app on your phone. You can get it for Android or iPhone. You can send any document, any website, anything written that you can bring up on your phone. You can send it to the Voicedream app, and then it's going to convert that to audio. So I tend to be a little, I won't say dyslexic, but I tend to be a little inattentive to reading. So if I find a long document or a long article, it's just on my iPhone, you can choose whether you can push the, it looks like a square with an arrow, I think. Push that and you can send it, you can share it. But if you have the Voicedream app, it'll give you that option. Send it to Voicedream. And then it will, it's using your phone audio, so it's sort of robotic. But you can also read along with the text, and it's reading to you essentially. So to my mind, that really helps to have that device read to me. So that's the Voicedream app. My travel journal notebook is right here. Hold on a second. So this is my travel journal notebook. I think I showed this to you before. So, it's just old school notebook. Did I show you this? Have you seen this, Van Allen? Oh, sticky notes. So yeah, old school notebook. Moving along. My Bluetooth earpiece. Here we go. So I listen to a lot of podcasts. I listen to audiobooks. And I use this little device here. I don't wear it out in public. That looks kind of goofy, you know? You ever seen somebody wear this in public? So I don't do that. I'll wear it around the house, in the car, and I'm listening to stuff. Now, of course, they have the Bluetooth earphones that go in your ear, but I can just put this right in my pocket, and it's always with me. Very handy. All right, my lapel mic. I've got a lapel mic on right now. So sometimes I shoot videos for my clinic, and if I've got the camera, the phone pretty far away, then the lapel mic picks me up. Very good, and it makes the audio sound a lot better. So my lapel mic, I got that on Amazon. It's like $30, something like that. My Gorilla tripod, here it is. So this is a Gorilla tripod, and you can bend it. Look at that. You can wrap it around stuff. Super cool. And then it has this attachment right here. I don't have it attached right now. But you put this attachment on here and you put your phone in there. So it just kind of is spring loaded. And your phone goes right in there. And then you can attach your phone to anything, or you can just set it up. like that. Pretty cool. So if I'm shooting some video for my clinic, I can set that up and or wrap it around something. My Bluetooth photo clicker. Here it is. Might have shown you this before. So if I'm shooting video, this connects by Bluetooth to my phone. And so if I'm standing, 10 feet away from the camera, I can just hit the button and it'll start recording. And then I hit the button again and it stops recording. And that is super helpful with an app that I'm going to show you here in just a minute. I think that was $20 Amazon. The Gorilla tripod might have been 20 or 30, somewhere around there. All right. Okay, so business cards to Google Form screening. I think I explained this a time before, but it's a business card that goes to a link to a screening that I give. So I won't spend much time on that, but that's something I'm doing right now. Evernote. Do you use Evernote? So Evernote is an app, but it's also a web app, or it's a website too, but it's a way to catalog and collect everything. I mean, I'm in Evernote all day, every day. If I think of an idea, I drop it in Evernote. So it's, if you think about it as a big notebook. So this is, if you think about a big notebook and there's different notes in a notebook, that's what Evernote is. It's a virtual notebook with notes in there. So you kind of catalog it like that, and I'll think of ideas and drop it in there, or I'll take a picture of something, put it in Evernote. You can tag it. I'll put a link to Evernote down here, but I use Evernote all the time. You have a lot of good ideas, but what happens is that life happens and then you forget about your good ideas. So use Evernote to collect those ideas as you come up with them. And you can just have a notebook like this, not like that, but in Evernote, a virtual notebook with notes in there of different good ideas. So collect your good ideas. I have a note in my Evernote with passwords, because you can password protect a note within Evernote. So I only have to remember one password, and all my passwords for everything is in there. I just go in there and unlock it whenever I need a password. All right, I could go on and on about Evernote, but I'm trying to keep this to a short, manageable time. Stitcher podcast player. I have an iPhone. iPhone has a podcast player that is, in theory, it's pretty good as far as how they have it set up, but in practicality, it crashes all the time. It is a slow app that takes a lot of room on your phone. So I got the Stitcher app, which you can get for Android or iPhone. Now, one thing that I like about the Stitcher app is that you can manage the speed of the audio. So I tend to want to get through things real fast. I want to listen to more and more and more, because there's a lot of things I want to listen to. So I will speed up whatever the audio is by 1.25. You can speed it up to 1.25, 1.5, 2 times as fast as the audio is, or you can slow it down. If somebody's talking real fast, like I tend to do. Let's see, Maya. Oh, Maya's here. How you doing, Maya? So what I said here, Maya, and I'll remind Natasha too, and other people who are joining, if you're using a tool, whether it's a technological tool or just an old school tool, put it down in the comments and let us know what you're using and why you like it. So what tools are you using? I mean, I'm mentioning a few. Are you using any of these tools that I'm mentioning? Because maybe you're using them in a different way. I'd love to know about that. That would be cool, because I'm all about maxing out some tools. So the Stitcher app, you can categorize different podcasts. My podcast is on there, Start a Therapy Practice. And then you can go through different shows. Like if you went through my show and you're like, okay, I want to listen to episode 68, 70, I don't know which ones those are. I don't have memorized. But then you can say, listen later, listen later, listen later. And then there's like a folder of just listen later audio. And I really like that, because, if you go to a show, you don't want to listen. You're not going to listen to all my podcasts, although you should, because you'll learn a ton of stuff. But you'll go to some shows and you're like, only like a handful of these even interest me, but they really do interest me. So I'll just click on listen later. And iPhone has that option, but it's just not as smooth as Stitcher. I love it, and it's a free app, Stitcher app. All right, Google Sheets. So Google Sheets is like Microsoft Excel, but it's on Google, and you can share it, and it updates in real time. Microsoft Excel does this, but Microsoft Excel is not free. So we're using Google Sheets for information in my clinic, and my office workers can access that, and we can all update it in real time. And then you can get alerts on Google Sheets, and it'll send you an email alert about different things. So that I could do a whole presentation on that, and I might do that one day because I think there's some screen sharing options now on Facebook. Van Cruz says, I use iPad to take a picture, you see my bald head right here, of a kid I'm working with. Use that face in a drawing app. I like that, Mr. Cruz. I let them use the picture of the face and shapes using facial features and help them lines proportional in length. That, Mr. Cruz, is a good idea. You are on your game. Mr. Van Allen Cruz is an occupational therapist. He learned everything smart that he knows from me, essentially. Okay, maybe not, because I didn't teach him that, and that's a good idea. Good job, Mr. Van. All right, the next one, Boomerang. Here's another one that we could have like another 20 minutes on. Boomerang for your Gmail. Do you use Gmail? You should use Gmail. So Boomerang for Gmail lets you control your email in multiple ways. So I originally signed up with Boomerang a few years ago because I wanted to be able to send an email, create it right then, but send it later. So that's one feature of Boomerang. I can write an email right now, and I can say, you know what, I want to send this tomorrow morning to this person, and it has that feature. Or I can say, I want to send this next week or next month at this date and at this time. That has that feature. It also has a Boomerang feature. So that's originally what it was for, is you send an email to a person. If that person did not respond in a specified amount of time, then you could say, Boomerang that back to me in that amount of time. So if I send somebody an email and say, if I have not heard back from this person responding to this email in 2 days, send that email back to me. And it's a reminder that, hey, that person didn't respond to my email. I need to follow up with that. So that's a very powerful feature of Boomerang. Now, you can also get notified. There's a little notification in there of when that person opened and looked at that email. So as soon as they click on it and it opens, you get an email sent to you that says, hey, so-and-so just opened your email that you sent to them. That way you know they read it. Another feature that they just rolled out with Boomerang is that you can pause your email. So I get a ton of email. When I'm going through my email, I click pause. And so no more email comes through until I want the email floodgate to open back up. So there's also a way to set dates, not dates, I guess you could set dates, but days, times of the day for email to come in. So my email comes in on a schedule 7:30 in the morning, like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So it's not a constant flow of email. They all come in at those specified times. And Van says Dodgers are up. The only reason I like the Dodgers is their National League. That's it. I mean, although it would have been pretty cool to have Dodgers Yankees, because then you have that, Dodgers used to be Brooklyn. So you'd have the Subway Series, although that's a long subway now from LA to New York. But I think I'm rooting for the Astros on that one. Yeah, even though they're American League. I mean, they had a flood. They should win, right? All right, so Boomerang for Gmail. You can pause, you can send later, you can get notifications, you can have them boomerang back. I mean, I love Boomerang. Buffer. Buffer is what I use to send out social media posts. So you can, it's a paid app. I mean, you're going to pay for it. I don't know what I pay for it, $10 or $15 a month. And so I tell Buffer what my social media channels are: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest. I think they do them all. I write one post. Here's the words. Here's the image. Here's the video. I can schedule it. I can say, post this tomorrow at this time, or I can post it right now. And I can say, post it to only these social media channels or all the social media channels. One time I create the post, put the picture on there, click send or click schedule. And so you can what I like to do is load the next week. I'll try to do that on a Thursday or Friday, create a lot of my posts, and then schedule those out for the next week. So I know that something's going out because I'm going to get busy during the week. I'll usually post something as I'm going along, but at least I know that these scheduled posts are going to go out. So buffer is what it's called. All right, the next one is MiniChat, ManyChat, MiniChat. MiniChat is a chat bot for Facebook. I think it's $10 a month, although I think they have a free version. So what MiniChat does, what I'm doing with it right now, is if you go to startatherapypractice.com, at the top you're going to see that you can get a free ebook of the survey results that I gave to private practice owners. It's free. Go over there and get it. But it's right there at the top, and all you have to do is message me through that chat bot. As soon as you message me, a message gets sent back to you on Facebook Messenger that says, hey, thanks for messaging me. Click here to get the free ebook, and there's a little button right there. Now, what that does is the chatbot puts you kind of on a list in Messenger. So then I can have communications with you through Facebook Messenger. I can send you more free stuff, and we can have that conversation back and forth using Facebook Messenger. It's sort of like email, but Facebook Messenger is more immediate. It's more, I think it's more personal. I mean, I like Facebook Messenger. It can get a little overwhelming because it tends to feel like a text message. So I don't abuse that option of sending out a broadcast to a bunch of people at one time on Facebook Messenger. I mean, I haven't even done one yet. I'll probably do one here in the next week just because I'm still learning how MiniChat works. Some applications there for your private practice is you could put that on your practice website, and people can message you just to initiate the conversation about therapy. So instead of calling you, you've kind of decreased the barrier of somebody choosing you for therapy. So they can say, you know what, I'm liking the website here. They might not email you. You know, you can have a submission page for email, but if people are using Facebook Messenger, that conversation goes a lot better than email, I think. It just lowers the barrier for them initiating a conversation with you. All right, Facebook ads. So I've been running some Facebook ads for my private practice, and been running it to a screening survey. And we've gotten a few new clients through that mechanism. So Facebook ads, and I've been doing a webinar on Facebook ads. Hopefully I'll have time to redo that webinar next week. So if you go to startatherapypractice.com/webinar, you'll see my upcoming webinar and what it's going to be about. So hopefully I'll have some time next week, maybe towards the end of the week, to redo that webinar. It's what it's about is the initial setup for your Facebook ads. So it's a free webinar. I'd love to see you over there. Office Ally. Now, if you're in private practice, you might use Office Ally. It's a way, I mean, it's an EMR. They have an EMR mechanism, but what we're using it for in my private practice is it's a clearinghouse. So it sends the sessions that we do in therapy to the insurance. So it's a clearinghouse that we use. It is free, although I pay them $20 a month to bill a specific insurance. I can't remember which insurance that is. All right, let's see what Van says. Seeing a lot of people decorating with webinars for Halloween. That's clever, Mr. Cruz. Get it? Webinars. Like that. All right, so Office Ally. Availity is something similar to Office Ally. I do believe there is a billing clearinghouse mechanism in there. There's also a way in Availity to check insurance status. You know, what insurance is going to pay. There's a word for that, and I've drawn a blank on it. Coverage, insurance coverage? That's not the word I'm looking for. Anyway, Availity, and I'll put a link here down below our conversation here. Grammarly. So Grammarly is an extension for, I know it's an extension for Google Chrome web browser, and it kind of checks your spelling and your grammar as you go along. And so that's pretty handy. It's free. The only drawback I can see about Grammarly is it might slow down your computer as far as your web browser. I don't know how much memory it takes, but I'm willing to take that little bit of slowdown for it checking my spelling and my grammar, which is not always really good. So I can kind of use Grammarly as a crutch. All right, the Clips and Videoshop app, two different apps. Clips app is for your iPhone. It's what I'm shooting video on for my private practice and for startertherapypractice.com. Just kind of throughout my day, if I want to shoot a video, I'll bring up the Clips app. The nice thing about Clips, you can edit the whole video within there. I mean, there's a lot of options for editing, but the nice thing about Clips is that it will put subtitles on your video, which is pretty powerful for Facebook or Instagram videos, because those videos come up with no audio. I mean, you're just, if you're watching me and there's no subtitles, it's like this. It's like that. I mean, are you going to watch that for very long? But you might read the words for a little bit and say, hey, he's talking about something there. So the Clips app, it is a free app. Videoshop app, if you're running an Android, that's sort of the equivalent to the Clips app. Now, Videoshop app, I have that on my phone. I think it's a $5 app. What I don't like about it is sometimes it crashes on me, and it might be just user error. Sometimes it will not record the audio for some reason, but I think that's more of me using my lapel mic. Sometimes it might throw it off. All right, we're getting close here to 30 minutes. The Snagit software for the Snagit actually has an app, but I use it on my computer, and I can screen capture specific areas of my computer screen. And what I use that for is if I want to show somebody in through email, hey, this is what I'm talking about on this website, I can snag it. I can snag that part of the website, copy the picture that it just created from that, and send it in an email. Another thing that I do that's really powerful with Snagit is I can screen capture part of my computer and then put it in some instructions for the therapist, for the office workers, for anybody who I'm trying to do a step-by-step instruction, some instructions, and have them see the screen where they actually are supposed to click or do this on a specific part of that screen. So Snagit. Camtasia. Camtasia actually owns Snagit. It's the same company. Camtasia is video capture. So just like Snagit captures still images, Camtasia is a video editing and screen capture software, and it's pretty powerful. If you're using a Mac, the equivalent is ScreenFlow, but I'm using Camtasia. And I think I've almost come to the end, and we're at 30 minutes, so that's about long enough, I think. All right, what tools are y'all using? That's not all the tools I'm using, but that's kind of what I'm into now. Let's see, I'm going to read down here on my computer. It says, see, a lot of people that you already did down. Can we take a bathroom break? Oh, Mr. Cruz, you're killing me. All right, so if you're using any apps, any software, any tools, any real life tangible tools, I'd love to hear about them. Put them down here in the comments section. I do want to remind you that enrollment to the Academy of Private Practice is open right now through October 30th. And I only open it 3 times a year. So the next time it will be open is January, and then June, and then next September. I realize this is not September, it's October. But 3 times a year, I open enrollment to the Academy of Private Practice. It's the best tool I've got, and the best tool you'll find for starting a practice or growing a practice. It's video lessons. It's also resources, real resources that I use in my practice that you're not going to find anywhere else on my website. You have to be a member in the Academy of Private Practice. It's also mentoring, and it's accountability. So once a month we have a mastermind where we meet as a kind of a group of private practice owners, and we kind of work out some difficulties that each of us are having. I do a weekly Facebook Live for Academy members, call it Mentoring Monday, and it's just sort of inspiration. It might be a short lesson and usually a challenge. I want to challenge you to do something that week to improve yourself or improve your private practice. And if you want some one-on-one help, we can schedule a one-on-one call within the Academy of Private Practice to help you. I did a podcast recently where it was me doing one-on-one help with an Academy member. I think it's podcast number 74. So if you go to startatherapypractice.com/74, you can kind of get a flavor for what that one-on-one conversation is like. Now, that's not the mastermind. The mastermind's a little bit different feel, but that's more of a chat with me to bounce some ideas off of and to get some direction. So go over to startatherapypractice.com/academy and get some more information. So with that, I think I'm going to cut it off, but I appreciate you showing up. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast. Be sure to like the Facebook page. Just click on that like button and you can click on share. I'd love for you to share any of my stuff. And if you have any questions that I can answer in the future, be sure to put a comment down below or email me, scott@startatherapypractice.com. All right, I'm going to get out of here. All right, Godspeed to you in your practice.